Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Heshima, back with you for the second installment of Zen and the Art of Bass. Installment number 1 in February, I was showing you an exercise to help you with independence of the fingers that generally struggle to be independent. Primarily the pinky and the ring finger. Right? So we dealt with stretching and independence, and then we dealt with the ring finger and the middle finger. Right? So you can go back on my YouTube channel and you can check out installment number 1 for February. This is March today, March 17th. And we're dealing with, March 11th. We're dealing with today the concept that seems to be very simple, but sometimes people overlook the very simple things which can be the difference between your playing staying at one level, plateauing, and going to the next level. Now, quite often, one of the questions that I get when I speak to musicians, whether it's bass players or other musicians, is how do you get your hands to flow so freely when you're soloing or even when you're walking or playing a difficult passage? And my answer has always been the same. Probably because my teachers instilled it in me, but it's the idea of really knowing your instrument, knowing your fingerboard. It seems like a no-brainer, but it's something that so many people overlook early on in their development because, as I alluded to before, people get caught up in the acrobatics of playing an instrument. They see incredible musical practitioners like Victor Wooten and Marcus Miller, Jaco Pastorius, of course, Stanley Clarke, Richard Bona, one of my personal favorites. And they want to do that. But first of all, you have to remember that in particular when we're talking about the bass, your primary role is to support, is to lay foundation harmonically, rhythmically, and in some cases, melodically. Most people in their life are not going to get paid to play very, very complicated, beautiful passages or solo bass concerts. If you do, you're fortunate. And if you can do it, wonderful, more power to you. However, for the average bass player, your job is going to be to play in the role of supporting. And so that requires that you're able to comfortably move around your instrument, regardless of whatever style you're playing, and to be able to use your instrument to the fullest capacity, right? Each string, each fret has a different tone quality, a different timbre, and so, or a different color as I like to call it. So, for instance, this C doesn't sound the same as this C. And it certainly doesn't sound the same or feel the same as this low C. Or this one. Or what about this C all the way up here? Even though it's the same note as this, the science behind it means that it doesn't sound the same. So, depending on what your playing situation is, you're really going to have to know how to use your instrument to get the tones that maybe a composer wants, maybe a band leader wants, or maybe you want in your own compositions. But that all starts with knowing the instrument. So I'm going to give you 2 exercises today. The first exercise is an ear training, technical, semi-technical, but ear training exercise that also allows us to learn our fretboard. So the exercise goes like this. We're going to, just so that we're all on the same wavelength here, the same page, we're all going to play on our open G string. That's where we're going to start. So if you're playing a 4-string bass, then you have G, D, A, and E. If you're playing a 5-string bass, you have those strings and then you have the low B. If you have a 6-string bass like I'm using right now, then you have a high C. So why don't we all use G as our starting point for this exercise? So what we're going to do is we're going to play a note. We're going to sing the note and name the note at the same time. So in this case, G or G. If you can sing down this low, maybe you can't. It's not comfortable for me to sing that low either. But to match the pitch, so this is G. First fret, G sharp, A sharp, B. Now I have my hands spread out, one finger per fret. I mean one finger per, you're right, one finger per fret. So it's spread out, so I'm stretching my hand. Your hands may not be that big and it takes time, but so G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Now we're going to shift. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Okay? And now we're going to descend, but this time we're going to use flats. So G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G. Okay? So we're singing, naming, we're looking, and we're playing. So we're creating sound. So we're drawing a connection, a correlation between what we sing, what we hear, what we see, and what we say, and obviously what we play. So you can practice that on all of the strings of your instrument, ascending and descending, naming flats, naming sharps. Or you can do it this way. G, G sharp, A flat, because they're the same note. A sharp, B flat, B, C, C sharp, D flat, because they're the same note. D, D sharp, E flat, because they're the same note. E, F, F sharp, G flat, G. Okay? You can do it that way. Or you can ascend, saying the notes as flats, and then descend using your sharps. Okay? And of course, I'm presuming that, I'm making an assumption that those of you who are watching at least have a basic knowledge, but if you don't, then certainly use technology. Go online and get a basic music theory sheet which shows you your sharps and your flats. But so we can do that, and we have 3 shifts basically. We have, right? And then our thumb, which is back here, which should pretty much always stay behind your middle finger. When it gets to here, the thumb is telling you it's time to shift. And then shift again. Okay? Now, the next exercise, the second exercise, is, again, it might seem simple, but sometimes simple things can be deceiving. We're going to, using all 12 of the keys in our Western music system, the circle of fifths. So again, if you're not aware of the circle of fifths, I invite you to Google it or buy a basic music theory book, or you can sign up for lessons with me on Skype, or if you happen to be in the New York City area, then certainly in person, and we can discuss that. But basically, for the sake of time, we're going to play all of the C's on our instrument. Okay, so I'm going to act, for instance, as if I only have a 4-string bass. So C, which is on the 3rd fret of the D string, or the A string, excuse me. Another C, which is on the 5th fret of the G string. Another C, which is all the way up here on the 8th fret of the E string. Another C, which is on the 10th fret of the D string. Okay? Here's another one. Of course, I cheated because I just used my high C on the C string. So we would play all of the C's, then all of the F's, then all of the B flats, all of the E flats, all of the A flats. Again, playing, naming, and singing the notes. So, well, if I'm playing on my 6th string, then C, 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 C. Right? So we have all of those C's, and then we do the same thing with F. F, 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 right? And so on and so forth. B flat. Right? And so on and so forth. So that's how we would practice naming all of the notes in octaves on our instrument, particularly in bass, because we play octaves quite a bit. Etc. Right? So we're always using octaves, or we're displacing octaves, meaning that when we ascend up a particular line and we can't go any further, we have to drop down. So understanding that will help you when you're reading music, and it will also help you just in general when you're playing quick passages, when you're soloing, when you're walking bass lines. So it's very important. So remember, the principles are naming the note, singing the note, seeing the note, playing the note, right? So we're using our visual, obviously we're using our eyes, we're using our ears, and we're connecting the mouth, the ear, the brain, the fingers, the muscle. So we're training. This is muscle memory, ear training, and of course, learning your fingerboard, which is the point of this lesson in part 2 of Zen and the Art of Bass. So, any questions that you have, you can email me at Heshima.moja@gmail.com, at my website, www.imheshima.com, certainly on Facebook at I Am Heshima. If you're interested in lessons in the New York City area, New York, greater New York, New Jersey metropolitan area, certainly we can arrange to meet in person. But if you live somewhere else or live outside of the country, I do Skype lessons. So I'd be happy to meet with you all to expand on Zen and the Art of Bass. Until next time, keep practicing. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. And understand this is a lifelong journey. All right? So until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.